Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Captain's Log. I've got some really exciting stuff to share with you today. We mentioned in a previous video how Liberty Grace is looking for a new building. So for the past number of months, really since COVID started, we haven't had a permanent meeting spot. And so this is something that we've been praying about, and there's actually some really cool opportunities that have popped up for buildings that we could use for our church. And Daryl, the pastor that I'm working with, recently recorded a video just outlining some of these possibilities. And so I just want to play that for you now. Take a look.
Hey, I'm Daryl Dash, a pastor at Liberty Grace Church, and I'm here at 25 Liberty, the third location that we leased as a church for exactly 5 years, ending last year as the pandemic hit us. While we were still leasing this space, I wrote a description of what I prayed our next space would be like. And here's what I included. First, a perfect space not only for our church, but for the community. One that allows us to build relationships with people who would not normally step foot within the church. Second, one that we could use on Sundays for church, and also throughout the week for programs that serve our community, including things like our community kitchen. And then, a space that has become a hub for the community, truly a space that becomes a community space to serve Liberty Village. And also a space we can afford. And finally, a space that opens up a whole new set of ministry possibilities that we didn't have before. So that's what I've been praying for, and I want to invite you to join me. Let's go on a little tour as we continue to ask God to provide a new space for us. I'm at 31 Atlantic, literally a 2-minute walk south of where we used to meet at 25 Liberty. I've had my eye on this space for a while. It's an end unit, it's pretty visible, and it's a wide open space, almost 2,000 feet on the ground floor. It's got a drive-in garage door at the back that we could use, that we could open up when the weather is good to let the air in. And it's even got an upstairs room that we could use for a kids program. And even better, the space has come down by $2,000 since we started looking at it. It now runs at $6,500 a month, which is still 1.5 times more than what we were paying before. This is a great space, and it would allow us to do some interesting things. Okay, let me take you to the next spot. I'm now at 119 Jefferson, which is just one street west of Atlantic, across from Lamport Stadium, a 3-minute walk from our old space. This one has 2 rooms on the first floor and also comes with a basement, but it's much smaller. The main floor is only about 900 square feet, but the basement's interesting. It comes with a kitchen, for instance. This one is tight in space, but the cost is about $4,000 a month, which makes it slightly cheaper than our previous space. Okay, let's go to our next spot. One of the biggest landowners in Liberty Village is First Capital. They have space all over the place. They're kind of a big deal. The National Director of Tenant Accounts lives in my building, and he's told me that he's looking into us having space on the second floor of the building behind me, the Brunswick building, right across the road from 25 Liberty, the same building that used to hold 3 brewers right behind me there. This is a great building, although having a space on the second floor isn't ideal, but we would need God to open up doors for us to have this space as the wheels turn very slowly, but it's a very interesting possibility. Okay, I've got one more place to show you. Okay, this is perhaps the most interesting possibility of the 4. I'm on Jefferson Avenue, just 3 minutes away from our old space. Lately, we've seen some of these units pop up on the market, and at least one of them is already sold. Right now, I'm in front of 133 Jefferson, 3 minutes away from our old space, as I mentioned. The interesting thing about this space is that it's actually for sale, not rent, for $2.6 million. Over 4,000 square feet, over 3 floors, plus a basement. Currently set up with a restaurant and a couple of rental units. The good thing about this space is that it would provide a good long-term solution for us. We wouldn't have to worry about the price of renewing a lease in 5 or 10 years. The challenging part is that we'd only be able to get a mortgage for 1/4 of the cost of the building, meaning that we'd have to somehow raise $1.6 million to be able to buy it, which is clearly impossible. And yet I've heard 2 stories just this week about God miraculously providing buildings in a surprising way to churches that couldn't afford it. Worth praying about. It's still a very interesting possibility to think and pray about. Okay, why am I sharing these spaces with you? I'm grateful that God has provided space for us in the past, from the dance studio to 25 Liberty to Pure Yoga. And I want to ask you to pray with me that God would open up a space for us to expand our ministry in Liberty Village that we can use as a springboard for new ministries to serve and reach our community. So please pray. Pray that God would provide a space. Pray that God would give us the money that we need. And please also pray that God would give us wisdom as we make decisions. But here's the other reason I wanted to show you these spaces. To move forward, we need to move forward together. It's going to take all of us to rise to the challenge of finding and securing a space in Liberty Village. I once spoke to a church planting leader about finding space for church plants in cities. And he said it takes a miracle for a young church to find a space in a city like Toronto. And he paused, and then he said that he'd seen a number of these miracles already. That's what we're praying for, a miracle. Would you join me as we ask God to provide a space for us in Liberty Village? Thanks for watching. Please pray, and I look forward to hearing from you as we think about how to move ahead and serve the Lord and our community here in Liberty Village.
So that's where we're at. Those are some of the building options that are available for our church right now, and we're so excited about what God may do through Liberty Grace in any one of these buildings. And so I just want to end off by asking you, please be continuing to pray for us, be praying for our church as we're considering the options that He's put before us. Just be praying that God would open doors and would lead us to the building that will work best for us, that we can use to really care for and reach our community. We're so excited about these opportunities, and I can't wait to let you know where this goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.